Okay, so today I'm going to be simulating 10 years of Formula 1 using F1 23. Let's see what completely unrealistic driver changes and world champions the game can come up with. So after Season 1, the bloke that won in real life wins in the game. Max Verstappen is your Season 1 World Drivers' Champion with 470 points. Only 66 points back, not like 250 like in real life, is going to be Lewis Hamilton in P2 and George Russell in P3 with 378. Moving back, we then have Sergio Perez, 167 points back from his teammate, so not as much as a deficit in real life, but still shambolic. And then we have Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, and Pierre Gasly. Now, looking at the constructors, Mercedes are going to win out by 9 points over Red Bull Racing. That's just because, you know, Perez was shit. And then we have Ferrari in third with 431. And then we have McLaren, Aston Martin, Alpine, Alfa Romeo with 6, Williams with 2, Haas with 2, and AlphaTauri with just a singular point. Right, so heading into Season 2, we have a couple driver moves, and it is actually a direct swap, because we have Fernando Alonso, who moves to Williams, and Alex Albon goes to Aston. I don't know what made Fernando Alonso go to Williams. It must have been a contract worth about 260,000 billion gazillion trillion pounds, because why would he do that? But anyway, let's go to the end of Season 2. And your Season 2 World Drivers' Champion is none other than Lewis Hamilton. He picks up his 8th Drivers' Championship of his career, and it is a Mercedes 1-2 as George Russell comes home in P2. And then P3, Alex Albon in his debut year for Aston Martin. What a driver, what a geezer. And then we have Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Lance Stroll, and I don't know what happened to Red Bull Racing here in Season 2, but we have Verstappen in P8, Pierre Gasly in P9, and Sergio Perez P10. What went wrong for the Milton Keynes team? We don't know. We don't care. All we know is Hamilton finally gets his 8th Drivers' Championship, and using common sense, you can dictate that Mercedes win out in the Constructors by 320 odd points. They do the back-to-back in dominating fashion over Ferrari, and then Aston Martin, McLaren, Red Bull Racing, Alpine, Haas, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, and Williams, with Fernando Alonso at the wheel scoring 0 points. Now, in Season 3, there was no driver changes, so we go straight to the end of the season. And Lewis Hamilton, for the first time this video, does the back-to-back. He wins now 9 drivers' titles, but only by 30 points over his teammate George Russell. And then 135 points back is Lando Norris in the McLaren, followed by his McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri. And then we have the Ferrari pair of Sainz and Leclerc, the Red Bull pair of Verstappen and Perez, and then Alex Albon and Pierre Gasly in P10. So once again, using basic maths, Mercedes do a triple in a row, 3 Constructors' Championships, only this time by 409 points over McLaren Racing. And then we have Ferrari, Red Bull, Aston Martin, Alpine, and this is shocking, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, Williams, and Haas all pick up 0 points in 23-24 races. That is incredible. You're telling me that 8 cars didn't get a single point in an entire season? That's baffling. So now it's been 3 seasons, I'm gonna quickly tell you how many wins each driver has got. We have Lewis Hamilton with 28, George Russell with 14, Max Verstappen with 11, Charles Leclerc with 5, Alex Albon with 4, Lando Norris with 4, and then Fernando Alonso, Sergio Perez, Oscar Piastri, and Carlos Sainz with 1. But anyway, let's look at the Season 4 driver moves, shall we? Oh, we've got some big ones today in Season 4. The biggest one of the lot, Fernando Alonso, after 2 stinky seasons at Williams, retires from Formula 1 at the age of what? 44. So Fernando Alonso doesn't pick up any more titles or wins. He does stay on 2 World Drivers' Championships, although when you move to Williams, what do you expect? Replacing Fernando Alonso at Williams is going to be rookie. Actually, no, technically not a rookie. Liam Lawson. Of course, he done no races with AlphaTauri in real life. But yeah, he goes to Williams. And then we have Yuki Tsunoda moves from AlphaTauri to Haas. And then replacing Tsunoda at AlphaTauri is a bit of a shocking one. Nick de Vries. So 2 or 3 years after they sacked Nick de Vries halfway through the season, they re-sign him for Season 4. And at the end of Season 4, we have a brand new champion, and it is none other than Posh Spice George Russell. Winning the championship by, maths, I think that's 119 points over Oscar Piastri in the McLaren. Fantastic season for him, and Lewis Hamilton in P3. And then we have Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Alex Albon, Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, and of course, Pierre Gasly! And you guessed it, but Mercedes do the 4 in a row and win the Constructors by 203 points over McLaren. And then we have Red Bull, Ferrari, Aston, Alpine, then Williams with 1 point, and then Haas, Alfa Romeo, and AlphaTauri all pick up 0 points. Looking at race wins, we now have Hamilton. He got 5 wins, so he goes up to 33. Russell with a great season. Of course, he won the title, but still, 9 wins for him, goes up to 23. Verstappen remains on 11. Piastri gains 6 wins, an absolute breakthrough year for him. He moves up to 7. Lando Norris gets 2, so he goes up to 6. Alex Albon with a cheeky little win as well, moves up to 5, and the other 3 stay on 1. Now, Season 5, thus far, is the most crucial when looking at driver changes. We have 2 massive retirements from the sport, and the first one is Sergio Perez. He never got to win the world title, and he retires at Red Bull Racing after some pretty shit seasons. And also following him in retirement is Lewis Hamilton. In this simulation, he does end his career with the Silver Arrows, 9 Drivers' Championships, and 33 wins on top of what he already has, I don't know. So this obviously shakes up the grid by a lot. And the first move is the geezer replacing Hamilton at Mercedes. It is the one and the only Pierre Gasly! Replaces Hamilton at Mercedes. Replacing Sergio Perez at Red Bull Racing is going to be rookie Felipe Drugovich, finally getting his chance in Formula 1. And then we have Zhou Guanyu moving from Alfa Romeo to Alpine. Decent upgrade for him. And then we have Théo Pourchaire coming in as a rookie to replace Zhou Guanyu at Alfa Romeo. And at the end of Season 5, we have another double champion. And it's again Posh Spice George Russell. However, only by, maths, 30 points or something over his teammate, Pierre Gasly, P2, in his first year at Mercedes. What a geezer. And then Oscar Piastri comes home in P3. And then we have Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Felipe Drugovich, only finishing 46 points away from his teammate Max Verstappen in his debut season with Red Bull. Great year. Liam Lawson with a great year with P7. And then we have Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, and Alex Albon. And in the Constructors, it's 5 in a row for the geezers at Mercedes, only winning by about 150 points over McLaren. And then we have relatively the same order: Red Bull Racing, Ferrari. A fantastic year from Williams Racing in P5, Aston Martin, Alpine, and then Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, and Haas all scoring nought. So looking at race wins, we have Russell with 6, he moves up to 29. Oscar Piastri with 6 as well, so he moves up to 13. Max Verstappen got 2, so he moves up to 13 as well. Lando Norris gets 2, so he moves up to 8. Pierre Gasly in his first season with Mercedes gets 6 wins, and another brand new race winner is none other than Felipe Drugovich. What a lad. Now, Season 6 driver moves, only 2. One of them is actually quite big. We have Felipe Drugovich getting dropped by Red Bull. Despite being only 50 points back from Verstappen in his rookie season, he goes to Alfa Romeo, and Dennis Hauger comes in as a rookie and goes to Red Bull Racing. As Valtteri Bottas gets sacked, he retires, I have no clue, but he's gone. And then, halfway through the season, we had some ginormous moves, and it's the first time in this simulation we've had mid-season driver moves. We have Dennis Hauger gets demoted to AlphaTauri after only half a year in Red Bull Racing. Where have we seen that before? And then we have Lando Norris goes to Red Bull Racing for McLaren. What a pickup by Red Bull, and probably quite a shocking one I really wasn't expecting. Daniel Ricciardo leaves AlphaTauri and rejoins McLaren Racing. How's that happened? I have no idea, but let's get to the end of the season. And who would have guessed? It's Posh Spice! Once again, for the 3rd time, he wins the Drivers' Championship. However, we have a different P2. From the ashes, from the grave, Max Verstappen recovers his career slightly and finishes P2, only 35 points back. And then we have Pierre Gasly in P3, followed by Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, Liam Lawson in the Williams, another fantastic season, Daniel Ricciardo, Dennis Hauger, Carlos Sainz, and Esteban Ocon. In the Constructors, I'm not even going to bother saying it, you know who it is. It's 6 in a row for Mercedes, followed by Red Bull Racing, McLaren, Williams takes P4 in the Constructors. Ooh, come on the boys. And then we have Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Alpine, Aston Martin, AlphaTauri with 1 point, and Haas, once again, with nothing. When will they give up? Looking at wins, we have George Russell with 8, so he moves up to 37. He's now our leading winner in this simulation video. We have Max Verstappen, he won 6, so he moves up to 19. And then we have Oscar Piastri with 3, he moves up to 16. Gasly gets 4, he moves up to 10. Norris always picks up 1 or 2, doesn't he? So he goes up to 9. And we have another new race winner, and it's Daniel Ricciardo. Of course, he's already won 7-8 races, but in this simulation, it's his first win. Season 7 driver moves, and we have quite an expected retirement as Max Verstappen finally leaves the sport. He thought maybe his career was coming back, finishing P2, but obviously not, and he's had enough. He's had many seasons finishing P8 and P7, and by his standards, there's no reason to stay in F1 if he's finishing P7, so he buggers off. And then we have another rookie entering the sport. Frederick Vesti goes to AlphaTauri despite being a Mercedes driver. And then we also have Dennis Hauger leaving AlphaTauri and going to Haas, which is a bit of a weird step because Haas are by far the worst team. They haven't scored a point in about 4 seasons. And then the biggest driver move yet, I think, the geezer replacing Max Verstappen at Oracle Red Bull Racing is Kevin Magnussen. Oh, I like that. Kevin Magnussen, being about, 46 years old or something at this point, somehow finds a seat at Red Bull Racing. And let's see how he gets on at the end of the season. You wouldn't believe it, we have a new world champion and a non-Mercedes winner, the GOAT, Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri wins the Drivers' Championship in Season 7, 30-odd points ahead of George Russell, and then he was only 7 points ahead of Pierre Gasly. And looking further back, we have Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris, Liam Lawson, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Logan Sargeant, and Kevin Magnussen in his debut season with Red Bull Racing only scores 68 points. In the Constructors, 7 in a row for Mercedes, however, only by 3 points. They took it in the final race of the season, and then we have Red Bull Racing in 3rd, Williams in 4th. They're showing some real consistency near the front end, and then we have Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, Alpine, AlphaTauri, and I don't even need to say who scored 0 points because it should be obvious. Looking at race wins, Russell picked up 8, so he moves up to 45. Lewis Hamilton stays on 33 because he's retired. Piastri gets 5 wins, so he goes up to 21. Pierre Gasly got 3 wins, he moves up to 13. Norris with 1 win goes up to 10. And Daniel Ricciardo with 6 race wins, moving him up to 7. Now, there were no driver moves in Season 8, so we can go straight to the Drivers' Championship, and it is going to be George Russell, Posh Spice, for the 4th time in this simulation. He picks up the Drivers' Championship only by 6 points over his teammate Pierre Gasly, and then only 12 points back is Oscar Piastri. And then we have Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris, Liam Lawson, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, Felipe Drugovich, and Alexander Albon. And, you guessed it, Mercedes once again win the Constructors, 8 in a row, followed by McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, Williams, Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, Alpine, AlphaTauri, and the special ones. Looking at race wins, Russell picks up another 7, so he goes up to 52. And then we have Oscar Piastri with 7, he moves up to 28. Pierre Gasly with 8 race wins, moving up to 21. Lando Norris gets 1 and he moves up to 11. Season 9 driver moves brings us another retirement, and it is going to be Kevin Magnussen. Retires from the sport from Red Bull Racing, although he was a bit stinky. Now, we have 2 new rookies as well. We have Jack Doohan at the ripe old age of about, 28, 29. He goes to Aston Martin. And then we have Iwasa goes to Williams. Dennis Hauger moves from Haas to Alpine, so a decent upgrade for him. And ladies and gentlemen, the new Oracle Red Bull Racing driver, the bloke that doesn't know what a kilometre is, it's Logan Sargeant. I never thought this would actually happen because it's probably the least chance of happening statistically. But oh boy, Logan Sargeant is now a Red Bull Racing driver. Let's see how he gets on in Season 9. So Season 9, we have another double champion. And it's Oscar Piastri. What a lad. And then 60-odd points back is going to be Pierre Gasly and then George Russell. That's the lowest he's finished in this entire video, I believe. So unbelievable consistency through 9 years from George Russell. And then we have Lando Norris, Daniel Ricciardo, Liam Lawson, Iwasa, Logan Sargeant, Jack Doohan, and Charles Leclerc. In the Constructors, it's 9 in a row for Mercedes, followed by McLaren, Red Bull, Williams in 4th with 386 points. What a season. Then we have Ferrari, Aston, Alfa, Alpine, AlphaTauri, and the special ones. Now, looking at race wins, we have 3 new race winners. But before that, we have Russell with 4, so he goes up to 56. Oscar Piastri with 10 wins, moves up to 38. Pierre Gasly got 5, so he moves up to 26. And Norris always picks up 1 or 2, so he moves up to 12. And your 3 new race winners is Iwasa and Lawson and Logan Sargeant at Portugal wins his first Formula 1 Grand Prix for Oracle Red Bull Racing. Right, final driver changes in this final season of this video. And we have a final retirement as Carlos Sainz departs from the sport. He managed to stay at Ferrari for 9 extra years, but he never won anything, so unlucky, mate. And replacing Sainz at Ferrari is going to be Yuki Tsunoda from Haas. Replacing Tsunoda at Haas is going to be Liam Lawson from Williams, a massive downgrade for him. And then we have a rookie in the shape of Yuri Vips going to AlphaTauri. As Frederick Vesti just got dumped, he's gone. And for the final time in this video, your World Drivers' Champion is Oscar Piastri again. Oscar Piastri. 3 Drivers' Championships for him, by 50 odd points ahead of George Russell and then Lando Norris. And then we have Logan Sargent 2 points ahead of Pierre Gasly with an absolute stinky year in P5. And then we have Charles Leclerc, Iwasa Tsunoda, Daniel Ricciardo, and Felipe Drugovich. And for the final time, Mercedes have won all 10 Constructors' Championships with 609 points ahead of Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, Williams, Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, Alpine, AlphaTauri, and those guys. And now we can look at the final wins from each driver. We have Russell, who got 6 wins, moves up to 62. Oscar Piastri with 5, he moves up to 43. Gasly with 1, he moves up to 27. Norris with 7 wins, his most of any season, goes up to 19. And we have 1 new race winner, which is going to be Yuki Tsunoda, and Sargent managed to pick up a nice win as well. So there you have it, 10 whole years of Formula 1. Your final world champions is going to be Mercedes with all 10 constructors, Verstappen with 1 drivers' championship, Hamilton with 2, Oscar Piastri with 3, and George Russell with 4 world drivers' championships. This video is the biggest and longest video I've ever worked on. It's taken about 2 or 3 weeks of my time having to make tens and tens of graphics, having to actually simulate 10 whole years, and then this is the 3rd time I'm recording this fucking voiceover. So if you could just hit like or subscribe, or even if you've watched it all the way through, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. See ya!